Joining in an exclusive conversation with Republic is the ace film director Vivek Agnihotri, whose latest movie, The Kashmir Files, has received wide applause, and not just in one pocket of the country, but even in Kerala, it was running full in the theatres for the first 2 weeks. Something completely unheard of, even with no kind of publicity whatsoever. So congratulations, sir, for a stupendous success on Kashmir Files. My first question to you is, like, what do you think has essentially come to the hearts of the people after watching Kashmir Files?
I think first thing is love for India, and second is it's very important to protect the integrity of India, and third thing is we are all Indians. And see, I'll tell you why I feel so. Because in Kerala, Hindi films don't come. When this film released, I pushed everybody by force. It released in 1 or 2 screens. But then within no time, the people demanded the film and it started running in 100-110 screens, which I think goes on to show that everybody is concerned about terrorism. Everybody wants love, peace and humanity. Hindu civilization has propagated for so many thousands of years the message of humanity and oneness, and this film strengthens that belief.
You are here in Kerala to also attend a Hindu Mahasammelan. You've probably been reading about the society in Kerala at large. What are the challenges Kerala is facing, especially in terms of terrorism? Recently, we have seen a lot of murders that has taken place of RSS workers and nationalist organizations. So, has it come into your concern that there are some areas in the country where the stories have not been told about the persecution of Hindus, or for that matter, some persecution which has never been spoken about?
Yeah, it's a very sad thing, and if we don't learn from history, how will we create a better future? So many young boys and girls I meet in Bombay who are from Kerala, and they don't know about Mopla, the Malabar genocide, the Mopla genocide. So many young boys and girls who come from Bengal don't know about the Bengal genocide. So many Sikh young and boys, they don't know the details. They just believe in whoever brainwashes them in whichever way. So therefore, I think it is very important to tell the right history of this country to people. We are a great Hindu civilization, and I think it is the duty of every creative person like me and the youth to strengthen our civilization and show light to the world.
When you're talking about showing the reality, or showing the essence of our civilization, you're often been accused that you've been labeled as few things. You have been called an Islamophobe. You're trying to have a propaganda. You are, there is a whole ecosystem which is trying to create or demean your work and your principles with which you have worked for some of these movies. How do you respond to these critics, especially from the left?
These are bogus critics. They are the biggest fraud. They are the cheaters. They are destroying this country. They have no problems with genocide. They have no problems with terrorists killing Hindus in Kashmir. But they have a problem with somebody making a film on it. They have no problems with the kind of violence which is taking place in Kerala today. But if somebody makes a film on this, or somebody speaks on this, they start calling them with different labels. This is a very old strategy of leftists. They have 2 strategies, they never change. One, if somebody speaks against you, call them Islamophobe, communal, bigot, all those kind of stupid terminology. And the second thing is, they use women and children as shields. That's what they have done. They are the most intellectually dishonest and corrupt people. I just do not care what leftists say. I have written a book on urban Naxals, and my entire mission in life is to defeat urban Naxals.
When this movie came out, especially the leftist, they have definitely painted you in certain ways. But my question to you is, like, do you think movies ahead should show stark reality? The kind of violence people had to undergo. Do you think somewhere as a filmmaker, we need to soften some of these things because it certainly creates those who watch it. It certainly creates a heartbreak for many. Do you think there has to be a soft portrayal? Because a lot of critics are even saying it should have been portrayed very softly. How do you respond to that?
Who are these critics? Hardly any. So many 3 crore people have seen the film, they have no problems, they are loving everybody, hugging each other, they are crying. Who are these people? And just because the truth is bitter, they have a problem. And the truth is about you. When somebody was making films on Gujarat, then they had no problems. So you make a film against Hindus, they have no problems. That is, oh wow, that is wonderful art. But the minute you expose these people, these fraud, bogus people, then they have a problem, then they call it, somebody is being killed. How do I make it soft? I say, no, he is half killed. What do they want? That woman I have shown in the film, in the end, have you seen the film? Yeah. In the end, that Girja Tikku's story, she was gang raped. I have not shown that. They killed a 2.5-year-old child. I have not shown it. I have diluted the film as much as I could. I have diluted it so much you can't imagine. Despite that, it is like that. Their barbaric violence is so gruesome, so gory, that even if you dilute it 99%, it's beyond anybody's imagination. These people are so cruel. All the killings in the world, if you see, have been done by leftists. Today, one of the biggest terrorist groups are controlled by leftists.
You've extensively worked on the movie Kashmir Files. I want to ask you, can you draw any parallels with what has happened in Kashmir in 1990s to the current situation of Kerala? Do you think there is something that the Kerala needs to be worried about? Because I'm asking you, especially in the light, the recent murder of an RSS worker, the conspiracy was hatched inside a mosque. It has come to light. The police official version states that. And now it has come to light that in the previous murder of an RSS worker also it has been hatched in a mosque. So do you think there is something that Kerala needs to worry about in terms of countering radical Islamic elements?
See, I'm not getting into Islamic and all that. All I know is that there is a nexus between religious terrorists and leftists. Okay? Now, whenever leftist people get involved into religion, it becomes lethal. It always becomes fanatic, it becomes violent, and it kills so many people. All over the world, if you see, in the modern times, most of the killings and the mass genocides have taken place because they were supported by the leftist people. And behind terrorism also, there is, tell me one thing, leftists call them progressive, they call themselves liberal. So they are against religious fundamentalism, they are atheists. Then in Kashmir, when so many Hindus are killed, why don't they raise their voice? Then they go and support terrorists. Here, who are they supporting? They are supporting the people who are murdering Hindus. So leftist ideology is the biggest problem. Second biggest problem of India is uniform civil code. We need uniform civil code. Unless and until you have uniform civil code, there will be violence, communal violence. Nobody can stop it.
So do you, since you are making hard-hitting pictures on the realities of the society, especially when you believe in the renaissance of the cultural civilization that India is, that Bharat is, are you planning to make more movies? Because you mentioned about Bengal, you mentioned about Kerala, you mentioned about Punjab. Are you planning to make more movies on the stark social realities and the history behind some of these gory incidents of the past?
Yes, but then I am trying to create a balance between also telling you good history of India. There are so many achievements, so many great things we have done. Recently during COVID, we invented vaccine. We did such great work, our scientists. We have sent a rocket to Mars. We do a lot of good things also. So yes, I want to make films on the positive side also, but I also want to keep reminding the youth of this country that how they are being fooled into ideologies which are basically destructive in nature.
You are in a state which has re-elected a left government. In the history of the state, it's the first time a left government has been re-elected for the second term. And you are here in this very state probably after a very long time. And you are saying that left is a problem. How do you plan to counter how do you plan to counter the left, especially in Kerala? Now the government exists only in Kerala. So how do you plan to counter it? How do you wish that the youth understand the left?
I'm doing it. I'll do it through my art. I do only two things. I write books and I make movies. So through my art, through my writing, through my speeches, I will make people aware of this problem.
Last question now. Coming back to Kashmir, since you made this movie, what do you think is a lasting solution for the Kashmiri Pundits? What should be done in the next few years?
I think first, there was no acknowledgement of this tragedy of genocide. Now at least there is acknowledgement. People have acknowledged after the film, yes, indeed there was a genocide. Second thing is to keep this momentum going and keep raising voice, keep writing about it, keep doing lobbying with the government. And I have a very strong feeling that slowly in next 5 years or so, things are going to become more cohesive. Because unless and until the youth of Kashmir comes into mainstream economy, okay, they will always remain isolated. What leftists do is they'll keep you poor and they'll tell you that somebody else is keeping you poor. That is the biggest problem. So that's what I think.
So that is Vivek Agnihotri for you, who says that through his art, he will go ahead and vanquish the left through his writing as well as through his movies. With video journalist Mani S. Ashwin Nandakumar for Republic TV.